an educational session. The session is on unraveling the mystery, the myths and reality of evaluations. So to run the session, we have a person who has been roasted very of late, and you would have known about him in that speech a lot. To say more about him, he's someone who is working as a lawyer in dependings, and I was part of ExCom when he was the president, and I can recall an incident when we attended a training program together, and there was a question: how many of you ExCom officers have taken this post by compulsion? and the president leans forward and to check his members. All the ExCom officers have raised their hand. That's when I saw his face. He was like, I have a Herculean task. We can't take away the fact that he's very kind, friendly, and he has been an excellent moderator. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together and welcome those persons.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Mr. Lokesh. I didn't expect this after a few years. You still remember all this. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and
Good afternoon.
See, I'm going to give a small education session on one of the most important areas, evaluation. So the title, courtesy, deep education, Chief Kalyan. When before any fiction starts, any movie starts, the title has nothing to do with the session. So if you feel that it is nothing related to the session, please bear with me. Now, feedback. We have been all exposed to feedbacks in our life. From very childhood, through our bachelorhood, marriage, and till the end of our life, the feedbacks is an important thing. Now, look at a situation when a child comes to you. Your kid comes to you and say that, Papa, I did a wonderful painting yesterday in school. She looks at you, or he or she looks at you, and you expect a positive feedback. So here the person who is giving, who is done an activity, expect a positive feedback. And you have no choice, you have to give because she will be down. There is another extreme where the man, how many married people are here? Okay. Another extreme where your wife do a wonderful dish and she asks you, how was my cooking? Here, the person who is giving the feedback is compelled to give a positive feedback. So these are the two extremes. Feedbacks are everywhere. In the workplace also the same thing happens. Managers ask you, how was this project? And you don't say, no, it was absolutely bad. You will say, this, it was good. So this is an important thing. So what this feedback has to do with to Toastmasters? Friends, we call this feedback evaluation in Toastmasters. And this is an often repeated statement. This is the pillar of Toastmaster program. For those who are new here, those who are new, just joined Toastmasters, this is a pillar of Toastmaster education program. Because this is the way, because you join, Toastmasters join for improving their communication and leadership skills, and this is the way by which the Toastmaster organization structure that the Toastmaster is getting benefited, improve their communication leadership skills. Now there are basically two types of evaluations, generally. One is a harsh evaluation, which is almost like a criticism. Toastmaster also it happens, like when a speaker gives a speech and then this guy comes to the stage and say, what kind of speech you are giving me? Why are you here? Why waste of time? The entire organization loses time. So this goes on. It's almost like that guy next day, what will happen? Next Saturday, go here. So this is harsh criticism and harsh evaluation, and then this is soft evaluation. It's like the first speaker is so much afraid to speak in public. He came to meet me. This is a fictional character, okay? So he comes to the stage he gave a speech, he trembled, and then there was a lot of blocks, and he finished, and then the evaluator comes and say, "How? What a wonderful speech! After Obama, I've never heard such a speech." This guy also equally amazed. Next week, what will happen? He will not come. So both these evaluations are very bad. So Toastmasters has a balanced evaluation system where you give positive feedbacks and also some areas of improvement where the Toastmaster can, it helps the Toastmaster to improve, and finally it encourages them to come up with better speeches. Now I'm going to tell you some myths which we all joined after some weeks or after some months. We just start our evaluations. We may not be getting enough training. So we form some myths about how to evaluate. I'm going to tell you some things, which some facts which is based on the Toastmaster standards. Then you will understand what all thing I had was just myth. So what I'm going to tell you is the reality. So how to prepare to be an evaluator? Now what's your role as an evaluator? What are you? So an evaluator, even I had felt when I was given an evaluator role, I myself raised to the level of a judge. So I began thinking that I am an authority speaking. So that's how I started giving my evaluations. See, this is not the way you have to do this, Mr. X. Mr. Colvin, this is not, see, the Toastmaster International does not approve this. No, my dear friends, you are not a judge or you are not an authority on speaker. You may be non-authority, but when you evaluate, you are not an authority. Then you cannot impose your ideas. So maybe you have suggestions. You cannot just go and say, and then force him to adopt your ideas. And there was a speaker who gave a speech, and then the evaluator said, okay, you should not repeat the word right, okay? So he called the speaker, okay, come to the stage. And the evaluator stand, and then he asked him to raise the hand, okay? And he said, here onwards, I promise, I will not repeat. Right. Is it the way to do it? No. Please say no. So, you cannot force your suggestions on the evaluator. Another thing, you are not a psychologist or counselor. Don't try to change the behavior. The speaker will do a lot of things. He will run, he will dance, a lot of things will do.
Because whatever skills you have developed till now is not just finished with this speech. You have to continue it in future also in all your speeches. So structurally, in a long narrative, in my opinion, is not a very good idea. It goes well for storytelling manual, but all other things you have to have a concept, develop it with anecdotes and other things, and then deliver the message so that people get the message in all its fullness and the type of things you want to add to the main message. So such a preparation needs probably even more time, because particularly the P10 is a very serious project. The inspiration level can be higher. How you do it? Next speech when you give in advance, make use of all this and try to inspire. Most of our speeches should be inspired. Back to the
Thank you, sir, for the wonderful and crisp evaluation. To evaluate the next speaker, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Sundar Rajan.
Thank you, General Evaluator, Toastmasters and guests. So after listening to Sunil's speech, I want to make something explicit. That is to recognize the speaker and spoil at the speaker. That is General. So today she gave a wonderful speech, storytelling speech, that too a touching story. Audience, what are the things you expect in a story? Suspense. What else? Characters. Okay. Right. Okay. So I find I think Toastmasters also recognize this fact that in a story 3 elements are essential. CDE: characters, dialogues and description, and emotions. Today let me give an analysis whether all these elements were present in Janani's speech and how powerful they were. Yes, characters, they were there. Janani, her mother, Vignesh, his mother, and Vignesh's lover. There are 5 characters, but the prime story revolves around 3 characters, Vignesh, mother, and Janani. So in a 6 to 8 minute speech, these characters were sufficient, and their characters and their characteristics were vividly expressed, so that the audience we could get a clear feeling or understanding of the characters. Now coming for the next part of dialogues. Were there dialogues? Yes, dialogues were there, and through the dialogues, Janani was able to express a vocal variety and body language, which was essential in any public speaking. Because of vocal variety and the body language, you are able to connect with the audience. So that you really articulated well through dialogues. Descriptions, yes, they were there. We were all able to understand. We were also able to travel with you and be there in Washington DC and witness what was happening with the interactions with Vignesh and the other characters. The third one is emotions. Yes, a lot of emotions are there. First, the fear of interacting with this guy, who was not a normal child, who was physically challenged with the slurred speech. Fear was there. Then, kind of curiosity was there. Then the third one is love. Suspense. When the guy was driving, we were all curious to know what was happening. So you were able to articulate those components, right? So the emotions, and you are also interacting with the audience in that way. And apart from being a storytelling project, it also had the other components of public speaking, like the opening, body, and conclusion. Opening, you started with a powerful opening, asking the audience to close their eyes, start with a puzzle kind of thing, and then you are able to connect with the audience. And the development was the story was in a seamless fashion. But still, I have a couple of recommendations since this is an advanced project. Couple of recommendations. The number one was slight eye contact was missing. So most of the time you are looking to the camera. Rather than that, if you would have seen the audience, probably that would have helped you to connect with the audience better. Number two is you are making slight mannerisms, which was distracting me as an evaluator. Often doing this chin mitra kind of thing, right? Trying to control that. Probably you can also look into the previous video recordings. I may be wrong, I may be right. You can look at it. Otherwise, it was an awesome speech. You had a powerful connect with the audience. Congratulations and wish you all the best.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sundararaman. Now to evaluate the next speaker, we know the next speaker is going to be our very own professor. So when I pinged him, what is your favorite relaxation? I was thinking like, okay, he's going to text me some dictionary, but thankfully he sent me, he's interested in motion, sports and music. I would like to have Toastmaster Thomas as a conference.
Thank you, G. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters, guests, and my target speaker, Toastmaster Satish. Toastmaster Satish is about to very shortly will be adding an important D to the TM. So he has brought into play a lot of skills over the last 37 speeches. We could see that well. That's one thing very explicit for me. And he also demonstrated a dexterity required in doing the most difficult, in my view, speech, which is also the shortest, which is the roast. You could easily fall between boredom and insult. It's a very tightrope walk that he did. So my compliments to you for that. This is the first demonstration for me of this particular speech in this club. Second thing, friends, I would like you to realize that there should be a kernel of truth in what he says. Then you build a balloon around that and you burst the balloon. That's the trick about roast. He did that by taking two topics. I would deal with his speech in three parts. One, the content. Two, the humor quotient. And three, what else could I have done? Content, crosswise it was very clear who the target was. Ex-president and brand lawyer. No confusion. We know who you were talking about. So it was a very crisp intro. Then you brought in what always works in the club of married people. When you talked about him as an obedient husband. Everybody got you there. Rather, you got everybody there. Then you talked about two aspects about him. One is Sunil and procrastination. Then you talk about Sunil, his brilliant run as an official, his enthusiasm, his passion. So what did you do? You, in my view, you squeezed the entire thing out of material, juice out of these themes. How procrastination, taking it to a new level. There was a twist. There was a lot of sarcasm, there was a twist. It was the unexpected. Procrastination is something you don't like. But you said how he's fond of, how he delegated to a new secretary each time. So that also brought in the human content. How he showed off his badge even to the server, brilliant. But now on to the third part. Delivery I will not even talk about because at this level delivery is passé, it's a hygiene factor. 3 thoughts. One, I've known him only for 2 years, as you can see 6 years, but I can say this for sure. Gulf and Sunil, if you say that in the same breath, people will laugh. Possibly you could have brought in little more about Sunil then, rather than just 2 points. Second, the ending was a little confusing. You talked about the obedient husband again. I got a little lost. But then you added, that's what I'm worried about even now, I'll find out. You talked about the obedient area director. Whether it was the district finance manager showing rank, I need to know tomorrow. I don't know yet. Question lastly for Sunil. Did he feel good? Did his beautiful daughter feel good and tell his mom something like this? That is also one of the objectives. I don't know that. Thank you very much.